Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Almost Okay. Let me ask you something. What's the best advice you have ever received? Have you ever really stopped and thought about it? We receive advice throughout our lives from our parents, friends, teachers, colleagues, mentors, and sometimes even strangers. Most of it comes and goes. We listen, we nod, and we move on. But every once in a while, someone says something so simple yet so powerful that it stays with you forever. Today, while I was sitting and thinking about some of the challenges I am currently facing in my life, one sentence suddenly came back to me. It's something my mother told me years ago. She said, always search for a solution instead of crying over a problem. The moment I remembered those words, I knew this had to be today's episode. That one sentence has stayed with me ever since. There was a phase in my life when I was facing repeated rejections. Every time I thought things would work out, I would hear another no. And it slowly started affecting my confidence. It made me question myself, my abilities, and whether things would ever get better. One day, after yet another rejection, I simply couldn't hold it anymore. I broke down and started crying. My mother noticed and came to me. She didn't give me a long lecture or try to motivate me with a big speech. She simply said, always search for a solution instead of crying over a problem. At that moment, something changed inside me. I realized that crying might help us release our emotions, but it doesn't solve the problem. Looking for a solution does. That doesn't mean we shouldn't feel sad or disappointed. Those emotions are completely normal. But after we have felt those emotions, we have a choice. We can stay stuck in the problem, or we can start looking for the next step forward. Since then, whenever I face a difficult situation, I remind myself of those words. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? I try to ask, what can I do next? That small shift in thinking has helped me through many difficult moments. So today, I would like to ask you the same question. What's the best advice you have ever received? It could be something your parents told you, something a teacher once said, advice from a friend, or even a quote that changed the way you look at life. I would genuinely love to know. Share it in the comments because your advice might end up helping someone else who's listening today. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Almost Okay. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep moving forward, and remember, always search for the solution instead of crying over a problem. Bye.